Now, there's one Warframe in this game that I'm 100% sure has not been recommended to any new player at all throughout the entire history of this game, and it's Equinox. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about Equinox, what you should expect from her, what kind of player should play her, that sort of thing. Now, Equinox isn't a bad frame. I want to start off just stating that outright. She's not bad. She's like a tool of every situation kind of frame. I wouldn't say a jack of all trades because there's other frames that do her magnificently better. But she has support, she has crowd control, she has nuking, she can put damage vulnerability on enemies, she can help the team by restoring their health and shields. The only problem is that she is so, what's the word here? Not good. Now, I don't mean to say she's bad. Not at all. She's just so augment dependent that you need, I would say, her second and fourth augment mods to make her good. Now, the reason that is because her normal ability stats are incredibly low. For example, day and night form. When you switch to your day form, you get a damage multiplier and speed increase. When you switch to your night form, shield capacity and armor increase. But they're so low, and the duration is only so long, that it's just barely worth it to switch just for those abilities themselves. It's more like an afterthought. When you're switching for the crowd control for 2 or the damage vulnerability of her 2, and for her 3, the damage reduction or ability strength increase. And for her 4, it's either for the health and shield restoration, the healing nuke, or the damage nuke. Now, Rest and Rage. The reason you need this augment mod is because base radius is 5 meters. 5 meters is literally nothing. With 250% range build, that is 12.5 meters. That's an absurdly low radius. Now, Calm and Frenzy. When you kill an affected enemy, whether it's affected by the damage vulnerability or by the crowd control. So long as you kill them while they're affected, if there's an enemy within 5 meters, it will spread to that enemy. So on and so forth. You can continue this until the entire room is either crowd controlled or damage vulnerable, whatever you want, really. And it stays with 100% of its remaining duration, which is obviously pretty useful. But the problem is that it's 5 meters. Once again, 5 meters is nothing. I mean, go right ahead. It's well enough. You still need the Common Frenzy. Even if it's only 5 meters, the fact that it can spread makes it kind of worth it, considering that her base radius is completely abysmal. And then for her 4, if you don't have on the energy transfer, when you switch between her day and night form, all the energy you conserved will be lost. So if you want to be able to switch freely, you need this augment mod. And most players would want to switch freely. The reason for that is simple. It's just because her night form is better for survivability and support, while her day form is better for damage. If you're in her day form, you're going to be doing a lot of damage, sure. By casting damage vulnerability and making enemies damage vulnerable, you can do a lot more damage. But survivability wise, with no damage reduction, essentially, you're going to need to switch to her night form so you can have damage reduction via her 3, even though it's not the best, and then crowd control with her 2. Now, that was a lot. But I'll mention how you play her just really quickly before I get into anything else. She is extraordinarily simple. I don't mean to make her sound really bad. I really don't. First things first, you're going to usually cast Mend and Maim on her day form, and then you can go ahead and switch to her night form, cast 2 to crowd control, you can switch back to day form, cast damage vulnerability. You could do that before you switch to your night form, but honestly, it really just depends on whether you're actively dying or not. Then you can go ahead and attack the enemies. Kill as many enemies as you can. Now, her 4th ability, it stores energy based on the amount of damage you used to kill an enemy. 75% of the total damage used to kill an enemy is what gets saved. So for killing those 20 enemies, I saved 10 million damage. From there, all you have to do is walk over to those enemies, cast 4 again, while in your day form, and you'll nuke those enemies. Pretty cut and dry nuking. You honestly don't even need to switch between your night form and day form if you don't want. It's just pretty helpful for, well, survivability. Because if you don't crowd control often, then the good chance is you're just going to die while casting because her casting speed is so absurdly slow. Now, I brought up her third ability a bit earlier. The thing I didn't tell you is that it's by far her worst ability. The reason I said damage reduction, kinda, sorta, maybe, is because though there is damage reduction, sure, it uses energy based off of how many times you get hit. It's just a constant drain. I'd almost be fine with it if it was just a constant drain, but it's actually only draining while you're being hit. It's not even funny, it's just kind of annoying. And the damage reduction isn't even that good. At 300% strength, you get like 80%. There are frames out there that give you a base of 90. So her damage reduction is kind of, sort of, maybe. It's practically non-existent. Her third ability is by far her worst. If you think about subsuming it, I would say go right the fuck ahead. Amomomori, or however you pronounce Komei's ability, is by far a better subsumable. Now, this is her subsumable ability. You can put this on Equinox if you want. I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying that even though it's based completely on luck, it's far better than Equinox's damage reduction. Now, I feel like I've been shit-talking her this entire time. I don't mean to do that. I really, really don't. She is a good frame. She requires a little bit less casting speed, though, on some Amber Shards, so you don't take 3.5 seconds to cast her fourth ability while constantly dying. Cast her second ability to do damage vulnerability. Cast her second ability in her night form to crowd control enemies. And then from there, all you have to do is attack enemies with your weapons, preferably, whether it's your primary, secondary, melee. It doesn't really matter. Just kill as many enemies as possible to build up the damage stored. And then switch to your day form or night form if you want to support the team. It depends on your motive, I suppose. And then either nuke the enemies or heal your team. Her nuking is incredibly simple. It doesn't require a lot of setup. It's just you need powerful weapons. And now that's pretty much just about it for that. I mean, you can nuke rooms, crowd control enemies, support teammates, heal allies, put enemies to sleep, crowd controlling them. She has a lot going for her. I just think she needs an update or a extensive build. Like I said, if you want to try her out, this is a basic build. You can put this on, test her out. No former required. You don't even need to use prime continuity. You could just slap on normal continuity. Hell, you don't even need continuity. You don't need strength. You just need efficiency and range, duration, strength be damned. And she'll be just fine. Now, what kind of player should play her? People that enjoy highly active frames. She's not a sit still and do nothing. As I mentioned, her survivability is dependent solely on switching between her day and night form, casting damage vulnerability on enemies, crowd controlling enemies. Her damage reduction with her 3 is abysmal. I would just say don't even try it, trade it out for something else. The biggest thing you have to know exactly what her abilities do, because if you're in your day form and you try to crowd control an enemy, you're just going to make it worse because her second ability does give them damage vulnerability, but it makes them faster as well. Doesn't really work out. But like I said, players that should play her are just players that like highly active frames and unique ideas. I like her gimmick a lot. I think it's an amazing gimmick. I just think she's too outdated to work during most modern gameplay, because a dedicated support frame will usually support better and have better survivability. Dedicated nuker will usually nuke better and have far better survivability. And then a dedicated survivability frame will just outclass her in all three somehow. Like, a modern Warframe is fucking crazy. So, with that being said, that's just about it. I know there's dedicated Equinox mains in this game, but I've honestly never met any. I've seen them, but I've never talked to any of them. Even though I was asking around in region chat, all I really found was hate for her. I found very few reasons on why people like her. So, with that being said, that's just about it. Let me know what you think about Equinox, whether you want to try her out, whether you absolutely never want to play her, and whether you will or won't farm her, because farming her is by far the worst thing about her. And with that being said, until next time.